Fly through the air as I had to fulfill my purpose. To shake the whole earth with a boom when I hit the surface. They trembling nervous. They know I'm coming for certain. To murder all these niggas, devour all of these serpents. I patiently waited to turn up with fervent heat now that I'm activated. I'ma blow cause it's World War III. I hear you weeping. You're mourning. Your nationality. Hiroshima and Nagasaki ain't got nothing on me. I was raised by chemists. I was made for the judgment. Don't be testing my limits. Don't be pushing my buttons. In the Bible, they call me flame and rebuke. And you know that that's the truth. But my homies call me nuke. I was sent here to destroy pleasures and sin. In the day of darkness, even darker than when the day began. Annihilation, no time for evacuations. When these warheads split, it look worse than decapitations. Repented dies, it's genocide or it's genocide. You can't hide if you get left when the saints rise. The wicked looking in the sky, and all they can do is cry, and they already know why, cause it's judged.
Gave up sin and started living righteous. It's who I am, I knew I couldn't fight this. When Christ come back, there's gonna be some mourning. You never know, this song could be your final warning. Judgment day, judgment day. When they crack the sky, judgment day, judgment day. Repent or die, judgment day. You say only God can judge me. Well, trust me, you don't wanna see judgment day. And there'll be no more crying now. So stop all your whining now. The time for change is right now. Repent or die, or judgment.
I'm my best on the worst day. How you know? Because I know that's what the words say. He's the steady serving doctrines like a feast day. Into the lines show they teeth, they bagging these away. Yeah, they bagging these away. Silly Christians with their doctors, what the heathens say. They get served a bag of tricks and that'll ease the pain. But it's only for a moment, the morning hand came. Now who the one to blame? When that black Messiah show, now that's another thing. On and all the weakest hands, we show them the way. All in all the weakest hands, we show them the way. Straight is the way through the gate, that's the only way. Whoa.
Gave up sin and started living righteous. It's who I am, I knew I couldn't fight this. When Christ come back, there's gonna be some mourning. You never know, this song could be your final warning. Judgment day, judgment day. When they crack the sky, judgment day, judgment day. Repent or die, judgment day. You say only God can judge me. Well, trust me, you don't wanna see judgment day. And there'll be no more crying now. So stop all your whining now. The time for change is right now. Repent or die, or judgment.
Gave up sin and started living righteous. It's who I am, I knew I couldn't fight this. When Christ come back, there's gonna be some mourning. You never know, the song could be your final warning. Judgment day, judgment day. When they crack the sky, judgment day, judgment day. Repent or die, judgment day. You say only God can judge me. Well, trust me, you don't wanna see judgment day. And there'll be no more crying now. So stop all your whining now. The time for change is right now. Repent or die, or judgment.
With the spirit of Satan and who's waiting for the lake of fire, or you gonna roll with the spirit of Christ?
Created, manufactured right here in the Americas. Don't slip on that. This new Negro that we see today was a creation.
If you walk
walking around worrying about your breath when you know death and destruction is everywhere. Nigga, you gonna die.
Check. Mic check 1, 2. Shalom, Israel. Most High in Christ bless. We here, Fix Your Face Friday. All praises. All right, you cut the music now, DJ. I see you guys. That thing was just going and going and going. Hey, Shalom, Israel. Most High in Christ bless. Happy Sabbath. It's Fix Your Face Friday with your brother, Captain Azariah. Of course, you know I got my brother, Officer Yawasop, in the building.
Shalom, shalom.
Also, we got Officer formerly Yawasop, but now his name Lahab.
That's right.
In the building.
Shalom, Israel.
We got Officer Danyala, and then also we got
Shalom.
Soldier Malchiah reading. All praise to the Most High God. Y'all see the topic, the fall of the black family. So we're going to touch on a sort of touchy topic for some people, especially some of you black women, of how the black family was up until now and how the black family should be according to the scriptures. So remember, the phone lines are open, 405-293-2029. Again, that's 405-293-2029. Everybody can hear we good? All praises, all praises. So let's get right into it. Y'all got something you want to say?
No, sir.
Let's
Just
get
waiting
right
for this
into
video.
it. Let's play this first video. So you're going to have to do some reading, Malchiah, on this one. Scroll it back. Yeah, you're going to have to read it.
What destroyed the black family?
So this is a video put together by the Atlanta Black Star. Read that.
5 ways integration underdeveloped black America.
Go ahead.
Black wealth stagnated or declined.
So it's giving you 5 reasons of how integration basically underdeveloped the black community and things of that nature. So one thing was black wealth stagnated and declined with integration. Because understand this, a lot of our people we fought for civil rights, and we fight, even to today, we fight to be accepted by these other nations, but we don't realize that it's actually to our detriment.
Right.
When cleaving and what's the word I'm looking for? Assimilating with these other nations. Mm-hmm. So it says one of the things was black wealth stagnated or declined. Play on. Turn it up some, it seemed low. Here.
During segregation, blacks were forced to start and support businesses in their own communities.
So we flourished because during segregation, because remember you couldn't go to the white places. They had whites only businesses and establishments. So during segregation, blacks were forced to start and support businesses in their own communities.
That's something right there, Cap, because we had to be forced. If it wasn't for the force, the fear of death, we wouldn't be be shopping with each other. We wouldn't be spending our money or making the black dollar circulate in our own community. That's crazy.
Play on.
Once segregation ended, blacks flocked to support businesses of whites and other groups.
And there you go. As soon as segregation ends, blacks flocked to support businesses of whites and other groups. Play on.
Today, blacks spend 95% of their income at white-owned businesses.
It says blacks spend 95% of their own income at white-owned businesses.
They want that white-only pie.
We don't, and that plays into a lot of us falling. Because remember, the family coincides with us as a community, us as a nation, all the way up. It's levels to it. And all this stuff intertwines in the family unit.
Yeah, they got barely toilet water and all that.
They got what?
Ballot toilet.
They got ballot?
Better toilet water.
Fix his face. Somebody fix his face. Somebody fix off the outside face. Hey, we with you, but I don't know what the hell you said on that one.
All of New Orleans know exactly what he said.
They all know exactly what he said.
What he say? What he say?
They got ballot toilet. They got ballot toilet water. Hey, play on.
Number 2, black family structure collapsed.
Now, with segregation, the black family structure collapsed. What is the black family structure? A mother and a father in the household raising the children, things of that nature. Play on. This statistic right here, I ain't gonna lie, blew my mind. It was crazy. Play on.
From 1890 to 1950, black women married at higher rates than white women.
All these women nowadays screaming, "I want to marry a black man. I want to get married." Well, from 1890 to 1950, the black woman married at higher rates than the white woman.
They was jealous.
What happened?
But ain't this is the more liberated, supposedly the more educated black woman though. So why are we marrying at a lower rate now than we did back then? That doesn't make any sense. Sounds like liberation and that feminism.
Exactly. We're gonna get to that. It's exactly what it is. That's exactly what happened, and all that stemmed with segregation.
I don't believe that more educated crap.
No, they know.
I mean, that's what they say.
They say
more enrolled.
Yeah, they're more enrolled in school, but
Yeah,
that's what they say.
That's what they're trying to
saying
say.
that
We're more
that's the
educated,
narrative.
right? But with
They
you
lost
being,
their mind.
yeah, exactly what it is. But it goes back. A lot of this stems from feminism, the feminist movement, segregation. There's a lot of these different programs and things that were brought up after the 1950s. You know what I'm saying? After going into the 60s and the 70s, Esau started pushing a lot of it. There was all these movements, the feminism movement, the war on poverty act. There was many things that got put into place that equated to black women, basically the breaking up of the family unit amongst the black community. Play on.
So in 1965, only 8% of childbirths were out of wedlock.
You hear that? In 1865, 1965, only 8% of childbirths were out of wedlock. A lot of people will read this and just read right over it.
What?
And don't understand what it's really saying. Go ahead,
This
y'all.
is heavy because back then that 8% got sent to the South, got sent somewhere. That 8%, you didn't see them no more. It was like, hold on, you pregnant? Oh, we're gonna send him Mississippi. Go to Mississippi.
Exactly. They send you somewhere. Ain't nobody gonna see your behind. Because watch this. Hold on. Go to Sirach. Because this is what it was. This was, we had some level, we didn't have the commandments, but we had some level of morality.
Well, we
had some level of morals. Get that in Sirach. Who know I'm talking about where it talks about it's a shameful thing for a father. I ain't got the scripture.
Oh, you talking about married his daughter off?
No. Pregnant child in her father's house. Give me
42.
Get it. If you got to read it, call it. I ain't got it wrote down.
42 and 9, I believe.
Yeah. Get that. 42. Start at verse 9.
Ecclesiastes chapter 42 and verse 9. The father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth, and the care for her taketh away sleep.
Come on.
When she is young, lest she pass away the flower of her age, and being married, lest she should be hated.
Keep in mind it says the father waketh for the daughter when no man knoweth, and careth for her away for sleep. When she is young, lest she pass a flower. He on top of her. He making sure the father. Nowadays, ain't no father in the home.
Right.
Ain't no father nowhere to be. So guess what? These daughters are promiscuous. They do whatever they want to do. They hoes, just like they mom.
And he know her spirit and everything.
Exactly. Read on.
In her virginity, lest she should be
He
defiled.
does this in her virginity, lest she should be defiled. Come on.
And gotten with child in her father's house.
Gotten with child in her father's house. Our people back then, they understood this. They understood this thing. That's why you only see in 1965, there was only 8% of childbirths were without wedlock, meaning there was not a husband and wife, not baby mama, baby daddy, not boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife. They got married, then had sex and had children. Our people understood this. But what happened? Segregation. Segregation happened. Civil rights happened. Feminist movement happened. Read on. Finish that off.
And having an husband, lest she should misbehave herself, and when she is married, lest she should be buried.
Watch this. Give me one more. Go to Surah. Matter of fact, play on video. Play the video. I'll get that scripture after this. Play the video. Now look at the percentage today.
Today, this number has risen to 75%.
Today, it went from 8%, and keep in mind it's not that long ago. It's 1965. Right. That's what I can't do the math. That's like four. And now I'm about to say it. Y'all sure? What's the math? Have you up here looking crazy?
I ain't saying nothing.
It's.
I ain't saying nothing. You ain't gonna laugh at me.
I'm black.
It's
It ain't over 100
It
years.
ain't that long ago.
It's not over 100. It's not even 100 years ago. We're gonna say it like that.
ain't that
It
long
ain't even
ago.
100 years ago, and it went from 8%.
Somebody in the comments.
Yeah, somebody in the comment section reach
It
out.
ain't. It ain't.
56.
We can't count.
56 years.
It ain't. It went from 8% to 75%. That's over half of all. We talking about childbirths. We ain't talking about just every child that is born.
Not
Only
talking about the abortion rates. We're not even talking about
not
that.
even that.
Yeah.
In 1965, 8% of all childbirths in the black community were out of wedlock. That means the other 92% were from a couple that was married. To now today, 75% of all childbirths are out of wedlock.
Right.
Meaning it's not a husband and a father. What happened? Play on.
I don't feel bad. You got 46, 56, 50. Everybody saying all kind of numbers.
Hey.
We don't. You can't laugh at us.
Hey,
Fix your own face.
it's good. And look,
I'm laughing at y'all now. You always laughing at me. I'm laughing at y'all. Y'all got it wrong.
hey, play on the video.
Number 3, the unemployment rate
Now
of
watch
black
this.
men.
Segregation. Did what? Read that.
The unemployment rate of black men quadrupled.
Because of segregation, the unemployment rate of black men quadrupled. Because this is another thing women complain about. Oh, the black man, he ain't nothing. He can't get a job. He can't this. He can't that. Play on.
In 1954, white men had a 0% unemployment rate.
Now, in 1944, there was white men. Because of desegregation,
Right.
they had all the jobs. Even the same thing. Even when you see the rate today, it's of course there is some form of white privilege.
Right.
That's all that is. That's why it's 0%.
If they're unemployed, it's typically because they don't want to work.
Right. Or they don't have to work.
They don't have to, absolutely.
Black men were unemployed at 4%.
So we were only unemployed at a 4% rate. 4% of black males were unemployed in the 1954. Play on.
Affirmative action did not significantly improve the employment rate for most black men.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. Black folks harp on. Oh, affirmative action. We have affirmative action now. It says affirmative action did not significantly improve the employment rate of most black men, which it didn't. Affirmative action is a bunch of malarkey.
Yeah,
it's BS.
Smoke.
Play it. In this video, it's gonna show it. Play it.
As it was designed to primarily help white women and some upwardly mobile blacks.
And that's what it did. That's what it was for. Play on.
By 2010, black men were unemployed at 16.7%.
Dang. Due to segregation. Come on.
Compared to white men at 7.7%.
It almost quadrupled. 4 times 4 is 16.
We're still doing math.
Play on. Play on.
Number 4, myth of a colorblind society was promoted. Although skin color still determined quality of life, colorblind policies were pushed.
And this is your All Lives Matter. This is all that. It says a colorblind, all people, we for everybody, even though because even to this day, skin color still determines the quality of life. Right. Colorblind policies are still pushed because who are in the worst neighborhoods? Black, so-called blacks and Hispanics. Who has the worst schooling? So-called blacks and Hispanics. Who has the worst grocery stores, hospitals, things in their neighborhood? Blacks and Hispanics. Right. But yet a colorblind policies are pushed. All lives matter. We're educated now. That's all you see in the mainstream media. Where we rise above, but that ain't the case. These were things that were pushed during segregation that helped destroy black families, the black communities. Play on.
To oppose policies intended to address specific issues regarding the historic oppression of black people. Colorblind policies often reinforce color-coded practices in favor of white people. Black community became dependent.
And the last thing, the black community became dependent. Because remember before, number one was we bought from black-owned businesses. We had no choice. We had to go to, everything was black. Remember Tulsa, Oklahoma, you had many prospering black communities.
Right.
Play on.
Integration made blacks dependent on whites in the areas of economics, education, and neighborhood policing.
Come on.
Policing.
Policing.
Now, only 2% of all working black people work for another black person.
Damn.
The majority of black students receive miseducation through inadequate schooling.
There's your, yeah, we educated now.
They call that the school to prison pipeline.
School to prison pipeline. Yep. Play on.
Millions of black men are removed from black communities via mass incarceration. Blacks' dependency on others to control community affairs led to sustained despair in the black community.
All right, drop that. Go ahead.
Say that again. Read that again.
Run it back.
Blacks' dependency on others to control community affairs led to sustained despair in the black community.
Damn.
Because now we look to our oppressor. We look to the other nations to control everything and to run everything.
Can I play that video real quick? Because that's good setup for that. For that
video.
The video I did, the one with the we need others to
You were talking about the one where the baby mama got
right here.
No, I got that. We're gonna play that.
Okay.
We're gonna play that.
Okay.
Give me Joshua 23. Yeah, we're gonna play that. I got that set up.
Okay.
Get Joshua 23.
That's
verse 12.
That's a good one.
Watch this. Tell you, we don't understand. It's the reason why God said, come out from among her, be ye separate. Don't deal with these other nations. Separate yourself. Deal with your own people. Because they don't have your best interest. They are only here to seek and destroy. And that is a lot of the cause as to why the black family is the way it is today. The black community is the way it is today. Read Joshua 23, start at verse 12.
Joshua chapter 23 and verse 12. Else, if ye do in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages with them, and go in unto them.
That word cleave right there, that's segregate. If you shall in any wise go back and cleave unto the remnant of these nations, even these that remain among you, and shall make marriages, because that's what happened as well. We saw segregation happen. We cleave to these nations. We shop at their businesses. We go around their people. We want to be invited to their parties, invited to their clubs, and guess what we started doing? We started dating and messing with their people.
Yeah, that was during the time of desegregation and assimilation. That's what we were doing. Absolutely.
Play on. Read on. I'm sorry.
And go in unto them, and they to you.
Watch what God says. Read.
Know for a certainty that the Lord your God will no more drive out any of these nations from before you. But they shall be snares and traps unto you.
These other nations ain't nothing but snares and traps unto us. That's it. That's all it's going to be. Problems, issues, snares, and traps. And that's the reason why our communities are the way they are today. Come on.
And scourges in your sides, and thorns in your eyes, until ye perish from off this good land which the Lord your God hath given you.
Now watch this. Give me the next video. Watch this. This is from David Hoffman. He's talking about growing up in the 1950s as a kid in the 1950s in the inner cities and how the black communities were. Play that. Because you're going to see a decline from how it was, and we're just going back not even 100 years ago, of how the structure was amongst the black communities and the black family till today. Tell you, Esau has done his job in destroying us as a people. Play that.
I grew up in South Philadelphia. We didn't realize it was segregated. All we knew is that our neighborhood was all black, and we weren't even that conscious of color because the people who owned the store down the street were black, the tailor, the restaurant owners, the undertaker, everybody in the neighborhood, and it was a very small street, everybody worked, blue collar, essentially, very close-knit neighborhood.
What's wrong with that, Paul? And this is our people today. What is wrong with that?
Nothing.
There's not. He said everybody was black. Everybody worked. We were close knit. He's like, we would look. The tailor was black. The barber was black. Everybody was black. I wasn't conscious of color because everybody was black.
That's we thought they toilet water was better. That's what it was.
Thought they toilet water was better.
Yeah,
Toilet water was better.
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. It's
But
like,
they
it smelled good over there.
Ice is colder than ours.
It smelled good over there. They ice is colder than ours. Yeah.
But see, and that's why even though our people back in the 40s or 50s and 60s, they didn't have the commandments, but they still had you can still glean on certain things because they had some level of unity as far as I'm about my people.
It was pride. They had
pride.
pride. They were proud. They were proud people. We were proud people.
And and understand this. That's now that we got the commandments. I'm gonna segue a little bit. Now that we got the commandments, these are the same things we should be doing. These are the same goals. Mashis, get Jeremiah 29, just real quick. I'm gonna segue. Get on us for a second. Segue. Jeremiah 29. Start at verse 4. Because those are things we can glean from, especially in this truth. Because God told us to be like this, to move like this. Black communities, everything black. He said the barber was black, the tailor was black, the mechanic is black. Black people everywhere, which black people refers to, we go as blacks and Hispanics, Israelites. Israelites was everywhere. That's that same, because we got the same thing here in this truth. We got black barbers, we got black tailors, mechanics, all type of different. So we should be able, with God's commandments, to come together and rebuild that black community, even in our captivity, until Christ return. Read that.
Jeremiah chapter 29 and verse 4. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, unto all that are carried away captives, whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem unto Babylon.
Come on.
Build ye houses.
He said what?
Build ye houses.
God said in captivity, build ye houses.
Right.
To build houses, what do you need? You need people that know how to lay concrete. You need people that work in that field. Right. And guess what? That puts employment to people amongst us. That's what he was saying. He was like, everybody worked. Why? Because they was a tight knit, and everybody had skills, and the same thing with Tulsa. What was it? The Tulsa, the dollar took a month to make it out of Tulsa.
It passed through 7 times.
Right.
Because the meat man bought went and got his hair cut by the barber shop. The barber, that same money the meat man gave to the barber went and bought the meat from the meat man, and then the meat man went over there to the grocery store to get his meat from or whatever over there. Then all three of them went to the hospital. Like it all circulates.
Right.
That's the same thing God telling us here in our captivity. Now, we understand, because I hear the thought now, yes, we know all this is vanity. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. Yes, all this is going to be destroyed. Praise God, hallelujah. All this is going to be destroyed. But while we're here in captivity, God commanded us to do what?
Build ye houses.
Come on.
And dwell in them.
And dwell in them, come on.
And plant gardens.
Plant gardens,
and
read.
eat the fruit of them.
Come on.
Take ye wives and beget sons and daughters.
Read.
And take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that ye may be increased there and not diminished.
That we may increase in this captivity and not diminish. That they had some level of that back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Our people today, Esau has done a wonderful job of destroying that thought, the mere thought out of our minds. Understand that. Play on in that video.
Collar, essentially. Very close-knit neighborhood. Everyone had over 4 children. We played in the streets together. On Saturday morning, our parents came out and the hucksters came around and our parents purchased things. We had to go buy ice because there were no refrigerators then. We had a coal stove, so the younger kids were responsible for putting wood and coal into the stove and keeping it going. And
You see that?
the
Kids was
level of
put to work.
interest in
They was
education
part of. They
just
was part of the.
profound. I mean,
Pause,
Press pause.
Pause. You hear him talk? Come on.
The kids was part of the community. Everybody had to put their brick in. Everybody had to do something. Today, you ask a kid to take the trash out, they looking at you like you crazy. Yeah. Not my house. They gonna take it. I tell you, I'm just saying. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah, our people in the world.
Yeah.
You as a kid to do something, they look at you like they crazy.
Yeah. These kids starting dinner, helping with dinner. You know what I'm saying? And that wasn't child abuse. There wasn't nothing wrong with that. You know, you was teaching them how to be productive adults
and work together. That's what we were doing. We were working together.
Right.
From top to bottom. The husband and the wife were working together. The children were working together. We were all on one accord.
Right.
The level of interest in education was just profound. I mean, even to this day, I don't think I've ever had such a positive educational experience than I did in my first 6 years, because school was an integral part of the community. We had a black superintendent, a black principal, all the.
Pause. See, you was in the school a little bit. He said education was a integral part of the. He said, I never thought I had so much fun in my life in the school. He said because the superintendent was black. He goes and say the teachers was black. Everybody was black.
It was learning.
They were learning. Why? Because it was black people. Right. The superintendent understood and knew what the curriculums needed to be for his people. Why is so-called Esau's the one that runs it now?
Right.
They're the superintendents. They're the ones over all that making state happen. They don't care about you.
And what it is that they can't control or relate to these children. Right. And what happens is these children act out, and that's why they get that bad rap, opposition defiant disorders they put on them, because they're not able to deal with the children. And that's a problem. That's what that leads to is having our kids labeled and put down going through the system and things like that.
Yep, and that's what happens. They get sent because, like you said, they don't know how to deal with them. So what do? They send them to the alternative schools. Yeah. They send them to all these different, and eventually they get what? Pushed out of school and either have to get a GED or go to what's the job fair, job corps. They have to go to stuff. They get pushed to that when these Caucasian so-called Edomite school teachers and superintendents and things don't know how to deal with them, so they just like get rid of them niggas.
Like
prison, the school to prison pipeline is push them to prison.
Like Fred Hampton and all them. He was 20 years old. You go back to some of these videos how he spoke. What else? Who else?
Look at 20-year-olds today.
Oh
yeah. Malcolm X. He was one of the guys that he went through. He was one of the smartest brothers, to go out and teach and beat Esau at his own game, and he was not considered educated according to Esau's education system.
There was a lot.
He went and learned himself, but he was learning from when he went to jail. He was learning from brothers. That's why when we were getting those kids in these high schools, they were learning from those kids. Would sit down and learn from us. That was the difference, because we were able to deal with him. We know that he's not about to go off and do something crazy, because you like, no, sit your butt down. You know better than that. Like we were able to relate.
You
to
know
the
kid.
Absolutely.
You know the kid,
and the kid can relate to you.
Right.
That's where it really gets. The kid could see himself in you, because y'all the same nationality, the same race of people. Here it's different from a Caucasian man coming and telling him that. He like, who are you? You don't know. You don't know what we're going through.
Right.
Go ahead, play on.
Part of the community. We had a black superintendent, a black principal. All the teachers were black. Many of them didn't live in the neighborhood either. Contrary to popular belief, they were middle-income people who lived elsewhere. But their hearts and their souls were into those kids. I remember that 3rd grade and 4th grade plays were always conducted in the evenings so that parents could attend. And an auditorium that seated maybe 400, 500 people was standing room only for a 3rd and 4th grade play. Up until 1959, 78% of all black families had a man and a woman in them. That's a fact. Teen pregnancy was looked down upon. Sexual activity
pregnancy was looked down
on
upon.
kids. Everyone bragged about it. No one did it. And but if someone became pregnant, if there was an aunt in the South, they would go there.
That's what you're talking about.
The moral standards and ethical standards for people living in those communities was extremely high. It had little to do with your income. Many of us were poor without realizing.
Press pause. I heard before.
Yes.
You had to be because you was poor. That's why we in this condition.
Right.
Because we was poor.
But think about
we ain't had nothing.
We were poor at this point. We were poor then. We were more poor at this point than we are now as a nation.
Right.
And that because that's how they try to deem it as. It's because they're poor. They're savages. This is what they got to do to survive and things of that nature. When that wasn't the case.
No.
They said, only the ones that are of high class are the ones that act proud. No, that was not the case. You hear what the brother was saying. He grew up. He said, we had very high moral standards.
Right.
And if you had an aunt, like you said, if you had an aunt in the South and you was a teen pregnant, you found your behind got sent down there.
I just seen him come down there. Like, where you come from? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Your behind got sent down there.
What the hell?
And he said it had nothing to do. It had nothing to do with money. Because he said many of us were poor. Play on.
To do with your income. Many of us were poor without realizing that we were poor. During the war years, I thought everyone had one pair of shoes.
He said during the war years.
Today
now,
I have a lot of shoes.
Let's go to the article. So what happened? That's because he brought out. He said we had high moral standards.
That's poor. Go back to you say one pair of shoes. Right. One pair. He said today he had multiple pairs, but for some reason we in this condition.
Right.
So
go listen. Even the parents today buying their children Jordans. They wasn't buying them Jordans back then. They wasn't buying them $250, $300 belts.
What they could afford.
Right.
It's getting what they afford. Mm-hmm. So, because remember he brought out there was a high moral value. Right. It had nothing to do with poverty. That was the standard in the black community in the 50s up into the 60s during what they call the war years. So what happened? Start here. This is what happened. There was a few things that happened during this time. You had the War on Poverty Act, which was during the war years, and the feminist movement, which which is what the black feminist movement came out of. We're gonna start with the War on Poverty Act. Read that.
How welfare undermines marriage and what to do about it.
Because everybody know welfare, government assistance was set up to destroy the black family. It was. Of how now people do benefit off of it, but our people, the black woman, uses it as a crutch, as a way. I'm telling you, Esau crafty. Esau know what he's doing. Read that. Watch this.
Historically, marriage has played a critical role in the raising of children. In most cases, the economic benefits of marriage are substantial. Marriage among families with children is an extremely powerful factor in promoting economic self-sufficiency.
You what that says?
Can't tell black women that, bro.
It says marriage among families with children is an extremely powerful factor in promoting economic self-sufficiency. And guess what? Esau know that. That's why as you read this article, it doesn't state a race, but you know exactly who it's talking about.
Right.
Because you don't what they start talking about, you don't see amongst no other nations of people but blacks and Hispanics.
Right.
Because Esau understands families with children, both parents in the house promotes a self-sufficient economy.
Hey, Cap, a lot of farmers. I can't remember what year this was. When I find this article, I'm gonna send it up there. A lot of farmers, I think it was in the 60s or 70s, they went on welfare because crops went bad. A lot of things went bad back then, and they stayed in the home. They didn't put them out. Right. Like the Edomite husband, he didn't have to leave. Right.
But they made it a requirement that the black man leave the house. That's
we're gonna read it. So scroll down. Scroll down. Don't go too fast. Keep scrolling. I didn't write it down. I mean, I should have wrote it down. Keep scrolling. I know what I'm looking for. Keep scrolling. Stop. The War on Poverty and the Decline of Marriage. Start there.
As Chart 2 shows, throughout U.S. history, marriage was the norm. Prior to the mid-1960s, nearly all children were born to married couples.
Nearly all children were born to married couples. That was the percentage we just talked about, where it says black women were married at a higher rate than white women. Right. Only 8% of children born were born out of wedlock. Read on.
When the War on Poverty began in 1964, only 7% of children were born to unmarried women. However, over the next 4.5 decades, the share of non-marital births exploded. In 2013, 41% of all children born in the U.S. were born outside marriage.
So now scroll down. Scroll. Because we're not going to read all this, but there's some points I want to stop. Right there, warfare and the decline of marriage. Welfare and the decline of marriage.
Welfare and the decline of marriage. It is no accident that the collapse of marriage in America largely began with the War on Poverty and the proliferation of means-tested welfare programs that it fostered.
Now, when you talk about War on Poverty, who is the poor amongst America?
Our people.
Blacks and Hispanics.
Absolutely.
Even when you look up into today. Yeah, okay, yeah. Now, yeah, it might be some sprinkle of the other nations that fit in that category, but we ain't worried about them. I'm not talking about them. I'm worried about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans right now because we are the majority of people in America that are impoverished. We are the majority of the people in America that marriage is not something that is talked about in our community. We are the nation where baby mama and baby daddy is a term. To the point to where we make rap songs about it. Y'all know, that's my baby mama, you know?
That's where they from?
Hey, look, bro. But I'm saying
Babylon, right?
They ain't from Babylon. That was a song. You don't see Toby Keith talking about that's my baby mama, you know? You don't see that?
You know what?
You don't see that?
They're not gonna let them put it out.
They wouldn't do that because they understand the importance of how communication destroys the morals of our people. Can I get that scripture real quick?
Go ahead.
Give me that 1 Corinthians 15:33. Because that's one thing they understand that we don't understand. We don't understand that we're at war. And just like the serpent in the wilderness, he went right at the woman. They doing the same thing this day. It's not smarter. They hadn't changed the game. They hadn't changed the tactic. They're doing the same thing. Read that.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 33. Mm-hmm. Be not deceived.
Don't be tricked, because that's what's happened. We've been tricked. Read.
Evil communications.
Evil communication has been our music, the image that's been put out. All of these things are these policies that have been put out. All of these are evil communications. They use the using of WIC to replace the black man. All of these are the evil communications. Read.
Corrupt good manners.
Corrupt good manners, because we were a moral people. Not only 50 years ago, we were a moral, upright people. And we had some sense of pride and dignity. And we've gone so far away from that because of what the scripture says right there. Go ahead, Cap.
Read on. Back to the article.
When the war on poverty began, only a single welfare program, aid to families with dependent children, assisted single parents.
Come on.
Today, dozens of programs provide benefits to families with children, including the Earned Income Tax Credit.
Come on.
Temporary assistance for needy families, the Women, Infants, and Children,
WIC,
Food Program, Supplemental Security Income, SSI, food stamps, child nutrition programs, public housing and Section 8 housing, and Medicaid. Although married couples with children can also receive aid through these programs.
Now, that's why I said married couples with children can receive this aid, and some of us receive these aids. But there's a point to it. Read on.
The overwhelming majority of assistance to families with children goes to single-parent households.
Goes to single-parent households. Read the next paragraph. This is why it goes to single-parent households. And this goes to your point about the father being kicked out of the house. Read the next paragraph.
The burgeoning welfare state has promoted single parenthood in two ways.
Because the welfare state promotes single parenthood. Primarily where? In the black community. Read on.
First, means-tested welfare programs such as those described above financially enable single parenthood. It is difficult for single mothers with a high school degree or less to support children without the aid of another parent.
Who is that talking about? Who is that talking about?
That's talking about us.
That's talking about black people. And it said it is difficult for single mothers with a high school degree or less to support children without the aid of another parent. Read on.
Means-tested welfare programs substantially reduce the difficulty by providing extensive support to single parents.
They provide extensive support to single parents. Read on.
Welfare thereby reduces the financial need for marriage.
So therefore, welfare reduces the financial need for marriages. That's why these women ain't trying to get married.
Right.
Because they know they got their check coming, they got their government assistance coming, welfare coming, and they're going to keep having kids and keep having kids. Because why? That check keeps increasing and increasing.
Right. Let me get a scripture. Give me Mark chapter 3 and start at verse 23. Let me start at verse 23. Because this right here, this is what Esau knows. This is how you deal. You know what I'm saying? You got to take the man out the picture. And they use cunningness, trickery. You understand? And welfare is one of the tricks. All right? They on attack. You know, that's why we say, that's what the scriptures say is a spiritual warfare.
Right.
You can't beat this man with no gun because he's behind the scenes.
I'm telling you.
He's behind the scenes doing all kind of tricks that he He gets up early in the morning. Scripture say he woe to him that worketh.
Wake the vise of evil upon his bed.
Look,
right.
While you sleep, he working evil.
Right.
While you sleeping, he working evil.
Hey, and that's why the only way we can combat against this is by applying what the Bible says to do.
We got to come back to God's law. We got to come back to our Father. Read that.
Mark chapter 3 and verse 23. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan?
He said, how can Satan cast out Satan? Huh? Read.
And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand.
This is what we trying to tell y'all. I don't care who you are. You know, if you going against each other, you can't stand. We, as blacks, Native Americans, Israelites, we have to come back together. We have to come back to God's laws as Israel. We can't be divided no more. We can't look at each other as you light-skinned and I'm brown-skinned. No, we all the same people.
That's
period.
Right.
Read on.
And if a house be divided against itself,
we are the house of Israel. Read.
That house cannot stand.
He said that house cannot stand if it's divided. That's why we at where we at, because we divided. We're not coming under God's laws together as Israel. Read.
And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand.
Read.
But hath an end.
He gonna have an end. Come on.
No man can enter into a strong man's house. And
listen. No man can enter in a strong man's house. With God's laws, we have protection. With the faith of Christ, we have protection. Nothing can happen. Remember when Satan told Job? He said, we can't touch him because you protect him. You got a hedge behind, you got a hedge around him. We can't do him. I can't do him nothing. Read.
And spoil his goods. Except
read that one more time.
No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods.
Take advantage of him. Spoil his goods. Take advantage of him. Do what he will with him. Read.
Except he will first bind the strong man.
You got to bind. You got to take the strong man out first. You got to get rid of him first, and then read.
And then he will spoil his house.
Then you can take advantage. Then you can make. You can use him for economics, because that man he gonna use logic. So we got to get this man out, because we know the women is unlogical, and she going to run the kids how we want to run them.
Yeah.
You understand? That's it on that? That's it.
Yes, sir.
Right. So finish where you left off. Welfare thereby.
Since the beginning of the war on welfare thereby reduces the financial need for marriage. Since the beginning of the war on poverty, less educated mothers have increasingly become married to the welfare state.
That is what has happened. Because understand this, they run the so-called black women run around talking about, I don't need a man, I don't got a man. Oh, you got a man. Yeah. And his name is welfare.
So
the white man.
His name is Uncle Sam.
So black marriage declined, but marriage to the system increased in the black community.
Yes.
Wow.
Read on.
And to the U.S. taxpayer, rather than to the fathers of their children.
Rather than to the fathers of their children. Wow. And that's where we get the term baby mama. Baby, that's just my baby daddy. Right. That's all you hear amongst the black community. And I'm referencing songs because this is the music we make.
That's the communication.
That's the communication. Yeah, that's it is publicized out there like it's okay. Right. Like it's good. And kids see that and they see, that's nice. Yeah, baby mama, it's cool to be a baby mama and baby daddy. Guess what? They go in the same system.
It's a reason why Esau puts so much money into marketing. That's what rap music is, a marketing tool for bad behavior in the black community. Right. That's what it is. And they know that, and it's big money in that.
Listen, it funds everything. It funds they society.
Right.
The jail system.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Clothing, every part of life, we fuel them. You know what I'm saying?
And that's like what you said. It is a marketing tool. Because think about it. They pay these entertainers, athletes, millions of dollars. An outrageous amount of money.
Right.
Because guess what? They getting a return on their investment. By your actions. Yep. By how you conduct yourself. By the things that they put out, they know it's good. Our people are like our sheep. They they persuasive and they move where they go. So they know they put this stuff out. And guess what? They getting a return on their investment. Yep. So that's why they'll pay a rapper $1 million to do a show. Right. They'll pay a basketball player $300 million for a contract to dribble a ball because they know I'm getting a return on my investment. Because guess what? It's going to be
trillions of dollars.
30 other black people, black boys that want to be just like
They're
him.
going to get trillions off it. They making $1 million. They making trillions.
That's what I want you to wake up. That's what I want you to wake up.
Read on.
As means-tested benefits expanded.
As the benefits expanded, because remember when it first came out, there was only one program. Now, over the years, it has expanded. Read on.
Welfare began to serve as a substitute for a husband in the home. And low-income marriage began to disappear.
Because remember, we just watched the video of the brother in the 50s. He was like, you children out of wedlock? That was a shame. Yep. We had a high moral standard. And we was poor. Mm-hmm. We was broke. Because that's always been the, even with me growing up, that's always been the narrative that is pushed amongst our, give me Daniel 8:25. That's always been the narrative that has been pushed on our people is that don't have kids, wait till you start your career, you don't want to be poor. It's too hard to raise a kid and be poor and be broke. I've been poor all my life. And I got 3 kids and one on the way. And it ain't been as hard, like, cause that's all. I don't know about y'all. That's all I've heard growing up is you gotta have money to have kids. Kids is expensive. Kids they expensive. Da, 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 da. And I've been waiting. Yeah, they expensive, but not to the way it was dramatized to be. And the reason why they say that is because they push this narrative of break up the family home, break up the black community. You gotta be rich, and only white people can have kids like this because they got money.
This is what they're scared of. Dude, play that real quick. Watch this, Cap. This is what they're afraid of. They're afraid of us doing this. The man stepping up again. The man defending his family. The man saying, no, that's not what we're gonna do. You know, we played this last week. You know what I'm saying? I just sent it to you. I just sent it to you. It's the last video. It's at the top. Okay, so this is what they're afraid of. You know what I'm saying? It's that fear of, you can't control us no more. You understand? You can't do what you want to do to us no more. You understand? And with the man outside the house, they can do that. So play that real quick because I love this. This is what they're afraid of. Play that. It's only 48 seconds. No sound. It's only 48 seconds, but it's a powerful 48 seconds.
Right.
You think you can beat it? I know I can beat it. You know it. Very confident. I'm very confident. You say it so easily. Why? Because I believe it. And let me tell you why. What she said it with so much confidence the first time. But if you keep going on and on, listen, we can't keep interrupting. I mean, if you want, you got to understand that you're dealing with an image of a 14-year-old child. And this child gonna be out there playing with your old ass and me gonna be in the grave. When she says something, we done told you what's happening. You dealing with a little black kid, and let her be a kid. She'll answer it with a lot of confidence. Leave that alone.
You see that? That's what they afraid of.
They don't want.
That 48 seconds was the powerful thing. Right. And listen, she was so smart. My daddy taking up for me. My daddy's right here protecting me. You know what I'm saying?
And guess what?
That's in the community is gone, Cal.
That's the image of a man that she's gonna have as she grows up, and that's what type of man she's gonna look for. I'm telling you, Esau understands how to keep our people destroyed. Esau done got like you say, he done got crafty with it. He ain't look. Slavery, they beat us in submission with slavery.
Right.
Now they got to find another crafty way, and they've done it. And they have mastered destroying the Negro.
Right.
Understand it? It dates all the way back to Willie Lynch.
Right.
But read on. There was a point that I wanted in this. Read on. Oh yeah. Give me Daniel 8:25 because this is what it's going into as far as that. And then we coming back to the article. Give me Daniel 8:25.
Daniel chapter 8 and verse 25. And through his policy.
Matter of fact, start up at verse 24.
Daniel chapter 8 and verse 24. And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And
this man has destroyed the mighty and the holy. We are the holy people.
Right.
We the Israelites of the Bible. We God's chosen people. And he has destroyed us. How? Read on.
And through his policy.
And through his policies. These are a part of his policies. His war on poverty acts, his welfare, his food stamps, his Section 8, his war, his religion. All these are his media. These are all his policies. Read on. His government. Come on.
And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper.
That's what he has called craft to prosper. Evil is prosper. And it all is to the detriment of the black and Hispanic man and woman. Read on.
In his hand. And he shall magnify himself in his heart. And by peace shall destroy many.
And by peace shall destroyed many. And it's a lot. It's all through his policies. Go back to the article. There was a part I wanted to
start back up at the.
Yeah, read as means tested.
As means tested, benefits expanded.
No. Go to penalized marriage. That's where it's at. That's the next part. Penalized marriage. A second major problem.
Penalizing marriage. A second major problem
This goes to the father being in the household.
A second major problem is that the means-tested welfare system actively penalizes low-income parents who do marry.
So it rewards low-income single mothers that don't get married, and it penalizes low-income parents who marry, mothers who marry. Read on.
All means-tested welfare programs are designed so that a family's benefits are reduced as earnings rise.
So as your earnings rise, the benefits are reduced. Read on.
In practice, this means that if a low-income single mother marries an employed father, her welfare benefits will generally be substantially reduced.
Substantially subdued. So if she marries an employed father, that's why they don't want. That's why it's pushed to father. That's why they talking about I don't want no father. I do baby daddy. Right. No father in the household. That's what this promotes. Why? Because they know that check gonna be reduced substantially, and that money ain't gonna keep coming. That goes back to Daniel chapter 8, where he through his policies he calls craft to prosper.
You know how this is a trick? So when you leave the house, right, and the child support. You leave the house, they give the mother all that child support, but when you go back, they take it away. So they say that the mama can't survive off that little bitty money, so you got to give more, daddy. But when you come back, you say, I can't give you no more because you in the house now. That don't make any sense. That's crafty. But our people don't pay attention to that. Hell, the white man. We love the white man. His toilet bowl water smell good.
His toilet bowl
water.
I get the
toilet
next
water.
Order.
Smell good. I want to see that same toilet he sit in. Eat the same pie he eat. Power to the white man.
That's the mentality of our people, and it's destroyed us as a nation. That's why God said, matter of fact, hold it, give Revelations 18, read verse 4.
And it takes one generation of that. It takes one generation of women taking that benefit, and they're going to teach that to their daughters because that's how they survive.
Right.
So we're in that second and third generation.
It should have been a video, not an article.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Did I forget it?
Right. Yeah, we
go ahead, read that. I got a video.
Mm-hmm. Revelations chapter 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues.
So read that again. It says, Come out of her, my people, what?
That ye be not partakers of her sins.
And that's what we as a people got to understand. To hell with his toilet bowl water.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
His pie.
Yeah,
to hell with his communities.
Yes.
Come out of her, my people, that you don't be partakers of her sin. Because guess what? This place is going to be destroyed. And our people, if we don't wake up and we don't come back to being black-oriented, or what they say, pro-black, which is pro-Israelite is what you need to be. Right. You're going to be partakers in this judgment that Esau is getting. What you got to say?
I just don't understand. I'm just going to say, this is a side note. I just don't understand. I never made that type of money. You go around people who hate your guts and you comfortable. You just feel comfortable. Like you just like that. You just like, these people look at you like, what are you doing here? Your kids are here. And you just go in and out the home. You don't know the neighbors because they hate your guts. Right. They don't want you around them, but you can afford to stay, in their neighborhood. But why? Why you just don't unite with your people? You know what I'm saying? Keep these commandments and just come back, Israel. Why you got to go through all this? You don't have to. We have the plan right here.
Play this video because you made a point. You said it just takes one generation of women to do that, and they're going to teach it to their kids. All right, so this is in 1986. Play that.
Raise your hand if you're married. None of you are married. Raise your hand if you would like to be married to your baby's father.
All these, they are young.
Look, she didn't even want her hand to accidentally be up.
They are young. And these are all baby mamas. These are all babies' mamas. These are a product of the welfare system. Mm-hmm. And guess what? They taught their kids, and all them WAP, them chicks with WAP, they are a product of sisters like what we're watching right now.
That's they mamas
That's
right
they
there.
Mamas. Play.
One. The rest of you don't plan to get married. Why don't you plan to get married? I'd like to know that.
You already have your child to think about, and then a whole family to care for. It's a lot of responsibility, and then you don't want the commitments.
I wouldn't want no man holding me down because I think I can make it as a single parent.
But don't you think you might?
She thinks she can make it as a single parent because she getting that check.
But hear how they talking. They talk. They destroyed. They can barely talk. Yep. I think I can raise the kid by myself.
Right. And remember this, we said this is 1986.
Myself.
This
I don't need
this is 1986.
You got to do your head like this. I don't need
this is a crack academic.
Academic, right? So they don't even have the numbers that we have now. This same woman, these are the women that said, okay, I can do this by myself. The numbers from for the boys or men that are in jail behind these single parents are outrageous because of these women right here who said, you know what, I think I can do it by myself. You were dead wrong, sis. Dead wrong. And we got the numbers to prove it.
Play on.
Because
we're not going to play the whole, this is the whole report. We're not going to play the whole thing, but play on.
I think I can make it as a single parent.
But don't you think you might need help in raising that baby from a man?
Not really. I didn't have a father. My father wasn't in the home, so it really, male figures are not substantially important in the family.
Pause. Male figures are not substantially important. And give me that and where no image.
This is part of the. This is part of the schooling. All that, Cap. All that.
Yeah.
All
that.
All that ties in.
It all welfare, feminism, education. All that ties into
all plays a part.
Destroying the black family. Because we're about to get on the feminism in a second too. But read that. You know what I'm talking about? Hosea 3. Yeah. Because ultimately, that's what all this does. Destroy the black image in the household. And that's what has happened. And that is what's caused the fall of the black family. So now black women are like, what I need? Like, you hear it. This was just in 1986.
1986.
And guess what? All these women you see are a product of this, that have that mentality. This is what they are a product of. That I didn't have a black man in the home, so I don't think a black man in the home, it doesn't substantiate. I don't think it's not a problem. He don't got to be in the home.
My grandma did it. That's what they said. My grandma did it. She did it without the dad.
And she's lying. Because,
she is.
In 1950, that's about where her grandma would have been. They were married at a much higher rate.
Right.
So
they be lying,
she's
man.
lying.
Play.
Hosea chapter 3 and verse 4. For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image.
And without an image. Esau understand about that image. Mm-hmm. So that's why he does what he does. To destroy the black image, the black father out of the home. Play on.
Thinking about holding up for no sex, my man. You know, if a girl, she get having a baby, carrying a baby, hey, that's on her. You know, and stop my
pause. These are product. Because understand this, it goes superfold whenever you have a father out of the household. Because these women ain't just having daughters, they having sons too. And guess what? They go, give me that. And Second Ezra.
I thought this was a movie.
And verse 8.
This is a real person?
This is a real person. These
I thought this was a
real
movie.
people. No,
you know how they be like,
these are real people.
You ain't talking black enough. Talk black.
Nah,
you know,
these are real people. Guess what?
You ain't speaking
Matter of fact,
jive.
Play on.
Jive.
I want y'all to hear what he says, and then we're gonna read what we said, because he is a product of single parent home. These women thinking they can raise a man when you can't. The only woman in the earth that can raise a man as a single mother is a woman that fears God and keeps the commandments.
Now, I'm going to tell you this. Why is she single? The father died.
Right.
Something happened. It ain't just she just single. Something happened.
Repented, came in the truth. The husband don't want to hear it, something like that. But that's the only woman that can raise a man.
And then she has many men that are helping
right.
with that.
Right.
And she understands that. She understands that.
She ain't saying y'all don't discipline my child.
Right.
Because that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what a lot of y'all women be like that. A lot of y'all, but don't touch my child. Don't discipline my child. Don't beat him. And you wonder why he growing up being a damn monster.
Right.
Why he think he can run up in the corner store and take whatever he wants. Because you ain't beat his behind when he was growing up.
Right. He was taking out your purse since he was 2 years old. Right. Oh, that's cute. Look at you taking the money. That's cute.
Since he was 2?
Hey, man.
Well,
where was he going? What store was he going to?
I'm just saying. The signs was there.
He was pocketing
them signs was there. You saw them signs. You know what I'm talking about.
He took that money, stuck it in diaper money.
Read that. What you got? Oh, yeah. Play on, and then we're going to get Second Ezra 8.
Having a baby, carrying a baby, hey, that's on her. You know, I'm not going to stop my pleasures because of another woman.
What about birth control? What about condoms?
Girls don't like them things. They don't like them things. They'll tell you to take them things off. They figure that you saying that they filthy or they dirty or something.
It's been a startling change.
He's a whoremonger.
He looked like he was disgusted.
Single parent homes create simps and thoughts and hoes. That's all it creates. A bunch of degenerate people, single parent home. I'm telling you.
It seemed like the white man went to the jungle or something. Here's the primate. We're gonna interview him now. We're gonna go over here and interview him.
You gotta say this was 1986.
I'm just saying, the man
outside.
talking to him. What about? I mean, come on, man.
Hey, read that.
Second Ezra, chapter 5 and verse 8.
Come on.
There shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be oft sent out again, and the wild beasts shall change their excuse me.
Need some water?
Shall change their places. I got some over here. And mistress women shall bring forth monsters.
And what?
Mistress women shall bring forth monsters.
Mistress women, unclean women, destroyed women shall bring forth monsters. And that's what you see in the neighborhoods. Because you think you can be a single parent. You can think you can raise a man. Get Isaiah 3. Get Isaiah 3. Drop that. Give me the next video. Matter of fact, I want the grandmama.
Hey.
Matter of fact, before you get the grandmama, I want feminism.
She remind me of my
I want feminism. And then we're going to get the grandmama.
She remind me of
because
my grandmama.
all of this plays a part in why the women are the way they are today. Go all the way back to Willie Lynch up until now with the War on Poverty Acts, the feminist movement, all that nonsense.
The reason, even Tupac said about himself, he said the reason why he is because of how he was raised by his mom. He was real feminine. He was he was all over the place, Cap. Emotional.
That's what single parent homes, women produce. You produce effeminate men because that's all they're around. They're around women. There's no man in the house to check his behind whenever he get getting emotional. Put him in his place. Read that. Now watch this. This is from now.org. I think it's National Organization of Women or something like that. Yeah, the National Organization for Women.
The original activists, Black feminism, and the Black feminist movement.
So jump down to traditions of black.
The tradition of Black feminism. The tradition of Black feminism stems from the condition of being both black and a woman. It characterizes itself by a multidimensional approach to liberation, but is resistant to claiming a specific definition.
Come on.
It focuses on the intersection of racism and sexism.
And what?
Of racism and sexism.
Because understand this, that all that feminism plays a part in why our women are so promiscuous and so flamboyant. All they want to be is video vixens and thoughts and Instagram models, because that goes back to feminism. Sexuality, my sexism. I'm a woman. I'm a show I have the right to show myself. Scroll down. Scroll down. Stop. No. Key. Yeah. Paulie Murray is what I want right there. Actually, scroll up. 60s and 70s.
The 60s and 70s lit a spark in the movement because of the arousal and growing tensions between the women's liberation movement and the civil rights movement.
Between the women's liberation movement, that's the white woman and her. She got mad at the white man because she wanted some type of rights. But guess what? The white man put her in check because you don't see the white woman rolling out, stepping outside of her lane, even to today. I know it's a few out there, but the majority, you don't see them roll. The Esau male still is the dominance, holds the dominant in the household. Understand that. It says there was tension between the women's liberation movement and the civil rights movement. Read on.
Second wave of feminism turned a blind eye towards the needs and struggles of black queer women.
Of what?
Of black queer women.
Because that's where it stems from. These lesbian women, LGBT nonsense.
SBT?
Scroll down to Paulie Murray. That's your Black Lives Matter. That's all that nonsense. Scroll down, Paulie Murray.
Paulie Murray, a founding figure of the separation and uplift of the black feminist movement.
And it was all for what? The destruction of the black unity, the black and Hispanic community, the black and Hispanic family. Because remember, civil rights was at a rise. The black woman was standing strong beside the black man.
It was the black family that funded Marcus Garvey, the Black Panthers, all of the UNIA, all those things were funded by the black family. They kept that thing going.
So you know what they had to do? Let's sprinkle. You know what? Okay, we got the feminist move, the women over here. Let's merge it together and give black women a platform to stand on. Watch this. Paulie Murray.
A founding figure of the separation and uplift of the black feminist movement in the 1960s and 70s was Paulie Murray, a black queer feminist. A black queer feminist.
Black homosexual. A black homosexual. Because you know that was not that was frowned upon during that time. You get beat the hell up.
It was a mental disorder.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was, a mental disorder.
During that time, absolutely, a mental disorder.
So she was one of the first people to kind of step out and with that black feminist movement. And that's what stems all that nonsense today. Now give me the grandmama. Give me the grandmama. All this stems from feminism, black femininity. You give me Jeremiah 31 and 22. The single mother household, because guess what? The welfare state promotes what? Single parent households. Who's the head of the house? The woman.
Right.
The woman. Along with feminism, black feminism, I'm a woman too. I'm equal to the man. I can do what a man does. I can be better than a man. All that promotes the separation of the black family. And we have creatures like we about to watch today. Play
creatures.
I don't give a about none of that.
This is somebody's grandmama.
Give me what I asked for. That's right. I'm special to you. I'm special to you.
This is the community. This is the generation that we have today, and it stems from all that nonsense. Because back in I guarantee you, her grandmama wouldn't allow that. Her grandmama wouldn't play with that. I guarantee you, she got her teeth knocked out of her mouth. Play on.
American cheese. Yes, ma'am. Now you're ignorant, bitch. Your mama the bitch.
Now, hold on, pause. Now, this is Fix Your Face Friday. There is some language, so if you got to move the kids out, move the kids out. There is some language.
Y'all already know by now. Y'all already know by now.
Y'all kids should be asleep anyway, but anyways, play on. Where's the Sabbath? Whatever. Play on.
Yes, ma'am. Now you're ignorant, bitch. Your mama the bitch.
You arguing at Subway.
Now you can come outside and we can.
And there's a group of people around there. We ain't gonna play the whole thing because it gets real. There's a whole group of people around her. Her grandkids is right there with her. Play on.
I'm a real bitch ass. That's what you are. Come on outside since I'm an ignorant bitch. Come on outside since I'm an ignorant bitch. Dumb like your mama for having your ass.
This is what the welfare state has created. This is what feminism has created. These are type of women. And guess what? I guarantee you, she got a man, but I'm telling you, he ain't a man.
She was ready to fight somebody's grandma was ready to fight a grown man in his prime. She
in his prime
that she could do it.
Hold on, give me that. Give me Jeremiah.
Something in that chicken. Something in
I
that
do
Subway
what I
chicken.
in that chicken.
Something in that Subway chicken.
I do what I want.
I'm telling you.
That? I do what I want.
It's the American cheese. It's the American cheese that she wanted.
The American cheese.
It's something in that chicken. That's
too much in that chicken.
Give me Jeremiah 31 and 22. Yes, she's the one recording.
Man.
No shame. No shame.
This is what we fall into as a family.
That grandma about 45 years old.
Yeah. She gotta be. She gotta be. You know, grandmamas is younger and younger now.
True.
Back in the day, you heard about grandmama. Grandmama was old. Like she was a grandmama when she was old. Right. She wasn't 40, 50 when she was a grandma.
She wasn't talking like that.
And she was damn sure
she wasn't
talking.
moving like that.
Wasn't moving like that or talking.
She wouldn't know how to work the phone.
Grandma
right now.
was barely moving because she was 80, 90 years old as a grandmama.
Yeah.
Grandma was cooking too. She wasn't at no Subway.
Yeah, wasn't at no Subway.
Yeah.
This the new age grandmama right here.
This
this is a product of welfare and feminism. Right. That's what type of grandmama this is.
That's the child of the ones we saw where the white man was.
Yes.
That's that child.
Yes. Read that.
She was sitting on her chest. You saw her? She was sitting right there. She was sitting right there.
Yeah.
You ain't see her?
Yeah.
She was sitting on that was her right there.
Jeremiah 31,
45
22.
years later.
Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
A woman shall compass a man. And that's the mentality of the black woman right now. That she thinks she is she has passed the male to the point to where you was ready to fight. Your old behind was ready to fight a grown man in his prime.
Listen, sisters out there, hey, stay away from Subway chicken. The protein in it alone will have you ready to fight. Stop it.
Read that verse again.
Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
A woman shall compass a man. All right, get rid of that video, the ratchet grandmama. Give me the article with the Candace article. I know she a coon, but sometimes she be on point. Watch what she says. Play that.
Then increasingly you're telling women to be the opposite of what I think men want, right? The opposite. Maybe in the instant when men are not thinking with their big heads and they're saying, oh, whoa, she's half naked, great, I'm going to go for it. Yeah. That might be what a man wants. But long term, that's not what a man wants. A man doesn't want a girl that's just going to be naked all the time and put herself out there available for every man to see. You know, that I don't have to be a man to know that that's not what men want. So then you say men suck. And I ask this question all the time. You complain about men, but are you being the type of a woman that a man would want, right?
Yo, what's up, guys? Before we get started.
And no. That stems all the way back because no, sisters ain't. Sisters want to be thoughts. Sisters want to be Instagram models. You want to be half naked, and you think you can get a man.
I'm gonna tell the sisters a secret. You think because you being, you know, your chest showing, your butt showing, yeah, he wants you, but he just want to hit. I'm gonna just tell you when we was in school, and y'all can contest to this. The girl who was getting that fast girl, the girl who was getting all, we was talking about her. Yep. And all the men know this. Brothers online, y'all know this. So I don't want my wife to be talked about in the locker room. I don't want my wife to be talked about at the job. So you're not gonna be picked. You're not gonna be that woman because you the one that's being talked about. So you have to change that. I'm just telling you the real. If you want that man ain't gonna want you. This is being real.
Today's video.
You know what I always say? Experiment with both and tell me what makes you feel better. And that is the truth when it comes to young women, because I dedicated my first episode to young women and really talking to them about these are the options that are being presented to you. Less less, take off more clothes, do the most to get attention, right? If you think that that's freedom, the idea that you have to wear less, and the idea that you have to get naked to be heard, you really think that's a form of freedom? Because that's slavery, that's bondage. I didn't have to take off my clothes to be heard in society. And these women will realize that when you follow these people that are, self-imposed feminists, I'm a feminist, I do this, I'm a feminist. You hear that word over and over and over again.
And that's what it is, pause. And that's what it dates all the way back to. That's sexism. I'm a woman. And that's feminism. That is feminine. Promiscuous. I can flaunt myself. I can flaunt my body, and this is how I'm going to be heard. And that they push that on black people because you don't see white women doing like that. Yeah, okay, yeah. There's a sprinkle of them, but I'm talking about like the Esau as a whole. You don't see them moving like that. It's only black women think that is feminism.
We take it to another level. That's what our women do. That's what black people do in general. We'll take sin and we'll magnify it and we'll go harder and harder with it. That's why that's why you'll see us in the forefront of it.
All right, so we'll drop that. So give me the next one because we're running out of time. Yeah, I want this one right here. This one right here. Yeah, play that. Watch this.
I put up a post and it said, women who be like, don't depend on a man for nothing.
Pause.
And it said no.
That is how women are. Right. And all that stems from everything we just brought out that happened back in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. That is the mentality of women now. I don't need no man. I don't need a man. I can take care of myself. Independent woman. We the only ones people that make songs. IENDE. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. We the only people that glorify this stuff. Right. Play on.
Sis, you don't depend on your man. My man come through. And so many women, especially black women, were bothered and felt the need to DM me in regards to them feeling like you wrong if you depend on a man for anything. But that's the way it's supposed to be.
Pause. Give me Genesis 3:16. You dang right, sister. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to depend on your man. Your desire is supposed to be to your husband.
That's right.
But that's the new age thing. I'll run it back. I want to hear what she said. Run it back. So I don't want to misquote it. Play it again.
But that's the way it's supposed to be.
No, play back. Yeah. Play.
In regards to them feeling like you wrong if you depend on a man
Pause.
For anything.
Read that. You're wrong if you depend on a man for any way. Sister, and I guarantee you, all the women that say that, they go to church every Sunday. And, I believe in Jesus. Right. Oh, I believe in God. No, you don't believe in the Bible because you're supposed to depend on your husband. Your desire is supposed to be to him.
A lot of these women won't be the man.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm. Read that.
Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16. Unto the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall
thy what?
And thy desire shall be to thy husband.
Shall be to thy husband. You're supposed to submit to him. You're supposed to look to your husband. He's the one that guides you. Your desire is supposed to be to him. Yeah, just in case, give me 1 Corinthians 11 and 1.
Right.
Bring it out.
So I'm telling you, for someone to say that you wrong for looking to your husband, or you wrong for depending on your husband, that's feminism. That is a welfare baby.
Right.
That's exactly what that is. 1 Corinthians 11, read verse 1.
1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ.
Come on.
Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you.
Come on.
But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
The head of man is Christ. Come on.
And the head of the woman is the man.
Guess what? The head of the woman is man. Come on.
And the head of Christ is God.
Read.
Every man praying or prophesying.
So there's an order. God, Christ, man, woman. That is the order. And the God takes care of us all the way down to Christ, to the man, because what's the role of a man? The man is supposed to provide. The man is supposed to take care of his family. The man is supposed to do all these things just like Christ did unto the church.
Right.
So guess what? It trickles down to the woman. The woman, she deals with the kids. She orders the house. She does all these different things. There is an order. So yes, you're supposed to depend on your man, depend on your husband. That is a Babylonian welfare feminism mind state. And we learned it from Mom. Tell you, that's why we read in Daniel 8, it says he shall cause craft, through his policies, craft shall prosper. Watch this. Give me Titus 2. Matter of fact, no, give me the next video. There was one more video.
I want to get that video with that.
Yeah, get that.
The one I sent you. It's the last.
This is a result of baby mama, baby daddy, single parent home.
And this is that off that article. They said they wanted us to depend on other people to police us, nation, and by us not policing ourselves, this is the result of it. Play that.
What happened, man? Ground. Yeah, that's him. We ought to get them to whoop his ass. They need to whoop his ass. That's the one. No, Jay, come here. That's him. That's the one that was pushing me and Shad in the video. That was him. It was him. It was him. She wasn't no victim of circumstance. They said she was being missed. It's him right there.
Innocent and proven guilty, man. Damn. You should have swung back, though.
She ain't swing back, man. Him. The one that was stealing off my man Shell in the middle of the fight. Dad.
Keep it playing.
Oh, he hit his ass.
Cause they gonna show another angle.
A black woman.
I'm out loud. I didn't know he was going to do that.
They're gonna show another little angle. You see that? And we can't we mad at the police who we want these people out of our communities because they treating us any kind of way, but we can't police ourselves. Y'all know this brother was breaking up a fight, right? It was a bunch of sisters fighting, a bunch of women fighting. He came in and break the fight up. Some of the sisters was mad because he broke the fight up. They was jumping one girl. Oh, man. So they was upset. So they wanted to break the fight up. He wanted to break the fight up. You know, so he's trying to step up and do something right.
You know, they was jumping one girl.
And the emotional black man steps up and puts his brother to death.
Get Isaiah 3.
Right.
Read verse 12. Read that.
And you tell me God's laws, we don't need God's laws? Man, I can't stand a pastor.
Read that.
Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors.
Come on.
And women rule over them.
The reason why children are our oppressors is because women rule over him. You see stuff like this all the time. The women, I'm telling you, the women stay getting people killed off dumb stuff like this. You mad because they broke up a fight. Oh, he put his hands on me. They broke up the fight. So now you got whoever that is, probably your son or somebody kin to you, to come.
Just threw his whole life away
to shoot him because of your wicked behind. I'm telling you, and this ain't the only incident. This happens all the time.
And she should go to jail as well.
Right.
Read on.
O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err.
They which lead you cause you to err. And for some reason, a black woman leads in our community. But it's a new day. Oh, it's a new day. The prophets is back.
That's
and guess what? This Bible is back. And we gonna teach the real truth according to the Bible. We're gonna bring glory back to the black father, the black man in the household.
Cap, this dude was so evil. After he shot him, it wasn't even about that.
He ran through his pockets.
He ran through his pockets. He ran through his pockets after he took his life. Ran through the man's
pockets. Jump down to
pockets.
verse 16. This is the black woman right here. Read that.
Verse 16. Moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty.
That's who you heard on that video. She was a haughty woman. I'm going to read the definition of haughty. It is arrogantly superior or disdainful, meaning you are haughty. And that's a black woman. You seen the old grandmama in Subway? She thought she could be the whole grown man. You old. Same thing with this video we just saw there. All that has all welfare, feminism, the education system, they have the crack epidemic, all these different policies that Esau has put into place, which stems all the way back to segregation, has caused our people to be like this. But it's a new day. The Bible has the solution. The Bible has the answers. All we got to do is just follow the Bible and keep the commandments. Read on.
Because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks.
That's what they walk with, stretched forth necks. Mm-hmm. Read on.
And wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet.
That is the black woman. That is the black woman. Now give me Titus 2.
I'm gonna give one more scripture before you
Go
leave.
ahead.
Give me Matthew's 24 and verse 12. I don't care what they've done, what they push. I don't care what Esau have done to us or what he's trying to do, the secret councils. None of that matters. This is why.
Matthew chapter 24.
This is why this is happening. Read.
Chapter 24 and verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound.
Because sin, that's the problem. Sin. Read.
The love of many shall wax cold.
The love of many shall wax cold. Because of sin, that's why we in this predicament. Right. We don't care about one another. We don't have a nation. We don't have that schooling. We don't have that togetherness no more. Why? Because of sin. I look at you as a nigga now. I look at you as an enemy now. My brother, I look at as an enemy. So you know what? When I see you, I'm killing you. Right. But the people who doing us damage, you don't do nothing to. Right. Our people are so much hypocrites. Why is no uproar about this boy being killed for nothing? Why, no uproar. Right. Nobody's angry about this. The prophet's the only one bringing this out. But this man was killed in cold blood in front of everybody.
And the woman that called him over there they probably was talking about it. Yeah, I'm glad you got his ass. He shouldn't have put his hands on me. That's why the scriptures say they which lead thee cause you to err. I'm telling you.
That was it.
So with that, it's been another edition of Fix Your Face Fridays. All praises to the Most High God. I pray y'all got some edification out of that. Stay tuned. Deacon ASAP up next. Friday Night Raw is coming live and direct and uncut straight from the Bible. So with that, Shalom Israel. Happy Sabbath. Most High in Christ bless.